Zepbound news, generic release of Zepbound, Wegovy, and Saxenda. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 98 pounds the last 22 months. Woo! On the run to my 100-pound weight loss. And we're going to deep dive in today into some Zepbound news. As always, I will cite my sources down in the description link below. Just click that more button. And we're going to have a discussion all about this because I know for many people in the Countess of Shopping community, that cost of something like Zepbound is around $1,000 a month before the savings card. Wegovy are around $1,000 a month-ish. And this depends also on your insurance coverage, with your healthcare, if you can get the savings card, and then also with Saxenda, which is another GLP-1 medication. So I want to deep dive into this because the ball is rolling, and we've talked previously about other drugs, GLP-1 drugs that are going to be coming out in the marketplace. Check out my Retatrutide video that I did all extensively on that coverage and other GLP-1s. We're at the very genesis of GLP-1s. Even though they came out in 2015, it's now 2024 as I'm filming this, we're in a crazy health renaissance, as one of my amazing viewers coined it. And so this is exciting that the potential of generic drugs is on the horizon for us, for many, many people who are experiencing financial burdens of taking GLP-1 drugs. For me, it has absolutely saved my life, and we've completely revamped our finances to be able to take these drugs the last almost 2 years. And that's crazy. It's the cost of this medication for me, because it's not covered by my health insurance, is a mortgage payment. So let's dive into this article. My source is the Financial Times. The author is Chris Kay from New Delhi, and then Ian Johnston from London. And it was from October 13th, 2024. I will link that down below. But this is where it's very interesting for all of us. We're talking UK and across the pond here from the United States, but still US people, I think this is incredibly exciting. I'm incredibly excited. And for my European friends, I'm also incredibly excited for you. India's powerful copycat pharmaceutical industry is set to roll out generic weight loss drugs in the UK within weeks. So in November 2024, leading producers forecasting a huge price war that can widen access to popular medicines. The Bengaluru, forgive me for mispronouncing that. The company is called Biocon. Biocon is the first company to win UK authorization to offer generic version of Novo Nordisk Saxenda weight treatment, and it's launched its sales in November 2024. If you recall, Novo Nordisk is the manufacturer of Wegovy and Ozempic. Eli Lilly is the manufacturer of Zepbound and Mounjaro. So to give some context on that, if you're like, I don't know what they're talking about. So Novo Nordisk, Saxenda. Saxenda, if you're like, I don't know what Saxenda is, that you're on Wegovy maybe or Zepbound, but to give some context, in one study, and my source for this one is Google, the Google AI spitted this out to me, was in one study, participants taking Zepbound lost 21% of their body weight, while those taking Saxenda lost I want to say only, but this is still incredible, 7.4%. In the 7.4% was lost in 68 weeks. Whereas Zepbound, in the study that they had, half the participants on Zepbound lost more than 20% over 72 weeks. So 72 weeks was Zepbound, 68 weeks was Saxenda. Saxenda, 7.4% of their body weight, Zepbound, 20% of their body weight. And many of you are on Saxenda or have been on Saxenda, and you stair-stepped up. So this to me is exciting. And Saxenda is a I practiced this literally for 10 minutes before I came on air. Liraglutide. That is like how it's Tirzepatide for Zepbound and Mounjaro, and semaglutide for Wegovy and Ozempic. So that is what the active ingredient is, liraglutide for Saxenda. So the Saxenda generic part, this is why it's fascinating. It is the first, right? This is the first that we're going to see about these generic drugs coming to the market. And to me, I'm eyeing it heavily because I'm super, super curious about this rollout. So Saxenda is an older drug in the same GLP-1 class of Danish company popular Ozempic diabetes treatment and Wegovy weight loss treatment. Saxenda is predicted the company's sales of the drugs would reach 18 million pounds, because we're talking about the UK, annually in the UK. And the expiry of its patent, I want to say expiration, but maybe they say that differently in the UK, or maybe I'm just not literate in that part, is the patent protection so it has its patent protection until next month, which is November. The the Biocon's generic version of Saxenda is to be approved by the EU this year. I didn't see this part until just now. Clutch your pearls, honey, and until the US by 2025. Let me close my mouth. That means, friends, generic drugs here in the US, to be able to have access to Saxenda, if you're like, I cannot stay on a GLP-1 medication, this is huger than I thought. I literally just got goosebumps. It's even bigger news than what I had originally thought when I was doing this story. I was excited for the UK people. It's coming to the US in 2025. Expected. That is exciting because I'm filming this in mid-November 2024. So we're almost to 2025, honey. When generics come in, there will be a huge price war. In the US, Israeli drug maker Teva, T-E-V-A, in June 2024 launched a generic version of Victoza, a Novo Nordisk diabetes drug, liraglutide, as the same active ingredient as Saxenda. The introduction of generic versions of Saxenda, wait a minute. It's the generic version of Victoza. Okay, I'm having a moment of less excitement, but maybe, let me keep going. We're going to take time about this story, friends, because this is really exciting. The reason why I'm so pumped about this, and I'll get back to the story, is generic drugs are going to change. As somebody who loves capitalism, this is going to create price wars. I'm an economist daughter. So when the supply and demand of things, this will change our pricing. This is a very, very good thing, which is also one of the reasons why we've talked about Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly squeezing every possible grape juice out of the grapes. For their drugs, because eventually the generics come out. And I don't know a huge about the pharmaceutical business. I've been learning obviously a ton over the last 22 months of now being heavily invested in taking a GLP-1 medication that has changed my life and saved my life. That this is exciting. And so I want to go in and talk a little bit too. Some of the things that we can do, I have more to this story, and it's talking more about, we're going to talk about semaglutide, Wegovy's generic expectation of when those are going to come out on the market for generic drugs, and then we'll subsequently talk about Zepbound too. But first, I want to share with you guys, if you are not taking a daily vitamin, I want to very much encourage you to use GEM. They are absolutely the what I take in terms of my daily vitamins. I'm obsessed with them. I know you guys don't like sound, and so you cannot hear it for all of my food sound people that get crazy with me about that. They are delicious bites, and they have in there, it's actually real food, which is one of the many, many reasons why I like them. This is what one looks like. Little bites. You can see literally, there's a pumpkin seed. There's literally a pumpkin seed in there. Full stop. I had my shot yesterday and I got nauseous. I have told you guys several times, I had never had nausea or vomiting on GLP-1 medication until Zepbound 15 milligrams. Yesterday I threw up, which is not like me at all, and I feel very nauseous this morning. Let me tell you the level of excitement of how happy I am to be taking my Gem Bite after I'm filming this video. I'm like, I can't wait to have it. I'm gonna sit and have this and then have my lunch. The reason why I like Gem is because it's got good stuff in it. For example, it's got turmeric. It also has in there ginger. For me, those are very calming for my stomach and makes my tummy feel better, but it has in there prebiotics and probiotics, which if you have constipation on Mounjaro, Wegovy, or if you're on Saxenda, this is awesome. For me, it's been so, so helpful. They come in these weekly pouches, which is one of the reasons why I like them. I can just pop these into my pocketbook, and then they're sealable on the top. The bags look like this. And it has in there, one of the several things too, is that it has isolated pills, powders, and gummies can be filled with synthetic ingredients and fillers, and you won't get the powerful antioxidants and phytonutrients you can only get from real food. Nutrients you get from Gem are more bioavailable. That means like the absorption, more bioavailable than what you get from your synthetic vitamins. And I've shared this story many times, but with my teeth, my dentist was like, I was getting cavities in the back part. I'm like, let me show the back part of my molars from taking gummy vitamins. So switching over to Gem for me has been amazing. You can get 50% off of your first month's order by going to dailygem.com/queen. I'll also link the direct hyperlink down in the description link below. Use the code QUEEN, get that 50% off of your first month. Super stoked about this. Absolutely love Gem. Run to go get those. Now, in terms of our generic patents, let's talk about that. The Danish company's patents for semaglutide, which is Wegovy and Ozempic, the active ingredients for weekly drugs, will begin to expire across Asia, Africa, and the Americas in 2026. And from 2030 in the United States. That's crazy, by the way. That's crazy. I'm absorbing that. That's nuts to me, by the way, that it's so long, 2030 in the US, but you could get the generic treatments across Asia and Africa in 2026 in the Americas. So it's talking about in the global market for GLP-1s is expected to grow to, are you ready for this? 140 billion with a B, and I just got Botox done on my lips, so maybe let me make my B, make it very clear. $140 billion by 2030, and under 40 billion in 2023, according to the global data provider. Experts say entry of the generic competition can typically result in the loss of around 80% of the market share of the original supplier and falls in drug prices 20 to 30%. If Novo Nordisk sales in the Saxenda are down 36% in the first half of 2024, the drug must be injected daily and is less effective than weekly treatments like Wegovy and rival Eli Lilly's Mounjaro and Zepbound. So Saxenda is daily, just FYI, for people who didn't know that, whereas Mounjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, Ozempic are a weekly injection. Novo Nordisk declined to comment. The Danish company is focusing on increasing its supply of semaglutide to meet runway demand in the US and existing markets to introduce to new countries. Because friends, we haven't even, here in the US, we've been in y'all's guinea pigs. I know we've got many, many new friends from the UK and across the world, so welcome. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. But India is expected to be a core driver of GLP-1 sales in the country's generic drug sector, the world's biggest. The World Health Organization estimates 77 million Indian adults suffer from type 2 diabetes, and government health surveys shows that 1 in 4 are overweight or obese. The Indian government also announced it will subsidize the manufacturing of diabetes and weight loss treatments once the patent for semaglutide expires in India in 2026. There have been some government pushes. A partner at Deloitte India, Mr. Ghosh, says. And so India is a huge market for this, is basically what it goes on to say. But the fact with this, for Eli Lilly, Zepbound and Mounjaro, it doesn't say when the generic one is coming out, but we did get for the US for Wegovy is 2030. So I suspect because Zepbound, well, it would probably be a similar time frame-ish, maybe a year or two later. That is my opinion, that is not fact. So to be clear on what's fact, that would make sense to me because Wegovy came out before, Ozempic and Wegovy came out before Zepbound. So, and like if comparing type 2 diabetes versus chronic obesity management of Ozempic and Mounjaro versus chronic obesity management of Wegovy and Zepbound. So all of that to say, this is great news for us, friends. If you're not just tickled pink, this is very, very exciting. This in conjunction, the generic component of it, in conjunction with new drugs that are going to be coming out on the marketplace, this is one of the reasons why we're seeing, like, for example, Eli Lilly with all of these lawsuits. I've talked extensively in my previous Zepbound news coverages about the lawsuits that Eli Lilly has a very strong legal team. They're a multi-billion with a B dollar company. And so, of course, they're going to protect their livelihoods, essentially. And so, aggressively protecting their livelihoods with these lawsuits. And so because the time is ticking for when things become generic and when these other competing drugs come out. But one of the heavy hitters, retatrutide, that's coming out, we're hoping, fingers crossed, in 2026, in about 2 years to the marketplace. I think I said earlier 2025. I meant to say 2 years, which is 2026. Forgive me for that as I'm thinking about what I just said. Retatrutide, that is from the manufacturer Eli Lilly, which is the same as Zepbound and Mounjaro. To give some context on that, of like, that is in their pipeline. They have other things in the pipeline with Tirzepatide for other approvals. We have seen across the board for things like sleep apnea, cardiovascular events, 20% reduction in cardiovascular events, strokes, heart attacks, testing now for Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. A lot of ailments and diseases. Now with GLP-1 medication, can they help those? So this is all and we live in exciting times, friends. I am very excited. When I read this, I was like, yes, this is very cool and exciting, because I think back to when I was a teenager. Have you guys heard of the medication Differin? It was an acne medication. It had like acne challenges. And so I remember I got to have different through my medication as a teenager through our health insurance. But now I'm like, oh, I see different everywhere. It's not a medication anymore. You don't need a prescription because it's lost its patent. And so the point that I'm trying to make at that is you can get that everywhere. Like you can go to CVS and get that. You know what I'm saying? Like without a prescription. So this is exciting. Like my husband and I were talking about this, and I was like, it's like, we'll live in a day and age of where you could go to like a CVS potentially to get a GLP-1 medication. Like that's a ways down if it's generic, right? No, if it's generic, you need a prescription. You still need a prescription for it. But we were talking about like over the counter. That's what I'm trying to say. Over the counter medication. That different animal. Forgive me. Now I'm confusing people, and I'm not trying to confuse you. But I do want to make sure we loop around. So these are some of the things, and I always like to, we've got to keep our mindset right. If you're on a weight loss journey like I am, I've lost 98 pounds. This has been just as much as a mental battle as it has been a physical battle. And trust and believe these medications have changed my life, GLP-1 medications, but I have fought hardcore with this tool. It has been a miracle life-saving tool, but I have had to work with it. I know some people are very blessed that they're not working as hard as I am on this. I mean, honey, I am working to change my eating habits, my workout habits, and my mindset, and keeping my mind right and tight. For me, this is a daily battle, and keeping my intentions on my health. It's been a lot. And so I know many of you, I wanted to say this near the end of like, as we were talking about this, on my last few videos, the grace, love, kindness, and compassion I've gotten from the Countess of Shopping community, the Counts and Countesses, thank you so much. From my heart to yours, like I could cry right now thinking about it. I have wept on multiple times throughout the day over the last few days reading your beautiful, delicious, kind comments. I appreciate that so much, more than you could ever know. And so I wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful. I don't know what I did to get so blessed to have such amazing people in my community, but each and every one of you, I am so grateful for you. And so thank you. Thank you for allowing me this amazing community to be together. I'm really, really appreciative. And if you're needing mindset help in our free encouragement group, we had our challenge this week, which has been a lot of fun actually for me. It's probably been one of the most fun challenges I've done. If you've not joined my free encouragement group, make sure you click the link down below. It's a free Facebook private group. It's private, so your neighbor can't see your comments unless he or she's in it. But you do need to fill out all the questions. And if you haven't gotten in within usually a couple of days, email me. My email's down below. You probably got flagged as spam. If your Facebook account is less than 5 years, those are usually spammers. And so I am the one who's approving everything. I used to run a large organization, one of the top dog walking companies in the nation with 600 employees. I have no employees on my team anymore. None. If you count my hot husband and sometimes the Duke, and I'll pay him, so he can technically be a contractor. But which, by the way, if you own a business, if you don't have your children working in your business, the tax deductions, but I digress. That's a topic for another day. I wanted to tell you in that group, the challenge this week has been very motivating, meaningful, and helpful for me. So next week's challenge, I've been thinking about it. A couple of you guys have given me suggestions. So if you are in the free group, give me suggestions in this week's challenge of what you would like to see for next week. I've got a couple on the back burner, as they say, that I think that will be a lot of fun. But a lot of good stuff, And I'm going to be talking about in our next video, there is a huge wave coming out. You're going to want to see the next video that I'm talking about in the next couple of sequences. It's from the sister Kourtney Kardashian's company. A couple of things on there that we're going to talk about that I need to warn you about. We're going to talk about that in the next couple of videos as well. So I want to make sure I put that on your agenda to click that like and subscribe button so you can see our videos. Our accountability question today, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? Tell me in the comments. And our emoji of the day is going to be sunshine because it's super bright and sunny here in the studio. I don't know if you guys can see the sunbeams in the back. So our emoji of the day is a sunshine ball. Little balls of sunshine, said Blanche Devereaux. And then that will flag to me that you've made it this far in the video. It helps me to get to know you better because I truly do care. And then the byproduct is I will pray over you. It's like our bat signal. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought because all are welcome at the Countess of Shopping table, figuratively and literally. And I will make sure that the link for this Financial Times article is down below because I know some of you guys, you guys need to fact check me, which I appreciate. I require of myself to be factually accurate. one of my videos last week from my email list. If you're not on, you can get on it through signing up on my free weekly meal plan. There's a link to sign up for that. But there's a video from last week from that email. Many of you got it and were like, where did the video go? I took it down because there was some things in there that were not factually accurate. And that I've never pulled a video like that, is obviously great expense and time, most importantly, time wasting. I want to make sure that I'm giving you the best possible information, encouragement, stats, and motivation. And of course, I love too. So, sweet friends, I love you guys so much. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Click that like and subscribe button. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. I look forward to seeing your beautiful face tomorrow. Bye, guys. Love ya.